Vrabel coming in now, like all this stuff that you hear, keeping guys accountable, like he's gonna be the first to do it, and he can get away with saying things to guys the way he says it because he did it, he played it, and he's just as smart as the guys that coached him at it. So like when you have all those things, and he's a burly motherfucker, like he's a big man. When you shake his hands wrap to your wrist. He's got big ass hands.
Strength.
Man strength. I still think he got 4 or 6 plays in him. You think he could play right now?
Like
4 or 6 plays.
Yeah, 4 to 6 plays. Like you know that offensive package the New England Patriots had for him. And talking about that offensive package, I think he had 10 catches his whole entire career for 10 touchdowns. So his ratio from catch to TD is 100%, best of all time.
Insane.
And that's just how smart of a player he was, is that he knew how to get open on the offensive side of the ball, and then on top of it, on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, just creative and just how good he was, just knowing the game.
You know what makes me so sad, though?
What's sad?
Because
what makes you sad? Now you're making me sad.
No, it makes me sad because we always hear about the stories about Brady when he was like the young guy on the team, and how Vrabel and Brewski and all these guys used to like motherfuck him, and it was
picked on Tom.
And picked on him. It was a completely different Tom that we played with. So like you couldn't. There was only a couple guys that really could jaw with Tom. But everyone was so scared to do it. And Tom would be hungry to jaw with people, like talk shit. But like everyone was so scared to talk shit to Tom because he was already Tom by then. You know, like it almost makes me like, man, I wish we got to see him in those early stages where you were more kind of part of the boys instead of him being like the older brother guy figure. You understand?
And Vrabel was like that older brother figure to Tom.
Yeah.
And we didn't get to see any of that. We got to see the Tom where he was our older brother. And it would have been amazing to be a part of that crew. But we're just the second, era of the New England Patriots. But there were so many times, like you said, in the training room and the coaches that were around Vrabel, like, oh, you would have loved the guy so much. You would have loved to play with him.
Yeah.
He gives it his all out on the field. I mean, he's a guy that you want to be friends with as well in the locker room because he's just fun to be around, but also at the same time, he's going to go all out for you out on the field. I mean, he was a grinder. I mean, gritty, great size as a player, and he was an inside-outside threat as a player out there, out in the field. And I think that's why Bill loved him so much, because how versatile he was. A special teamer, he could play inside backer and outside backer. And when Bill gets a guy like that, he utilizes their skill in so many different aspects of the game, and he makes you a tremendous player, and he blossoms you like no other. And that's why Bill loves those type of guys when he can get them in free agency.
1,000%. Think about it. Like, he's played on every phase of the game at a high level in an important game. He's been a teamer. So, like, when he's addressing the team and he's watching fucking the film or having, like, a highlight thing that he's probably presenting the team, he can break down guy for guy because he's done it at the pro level. On defense, he knows everything about defense because he basically was in the school of doctorates on the defense through Belichick, learning through him, and then actually being on the field and experiencing it is another way he gets to coach guys. And then in offense, like, yeah, he was on a package or two, but I remember going and going on the other side of the ball when I had to play corner. Like, even being in those meeting rooms for the little amount of time that I was, it opened up my mind so differently on how I thought about offense when I went back to offense and how I was attacking the defense. He's done that on offense. So, like, he can break down the whole game, and he's a masculine figure that's going to make you do it right. And if you don't, he's going to motherfucker you, get rid of you. He's going to make people accountable. That's how it was. The Patriot way, that it was developed through these guys.
I mean, and just talking about his knowledge of the game and just the mastermind he has within the rule book of the NFL as well. Remember in the 2019 playoffs, Vrabel intentionally took a 12-man on the field penalty just to keep Brady off of the field. I mean, he kind of outplayed Belichick in that situation because Belichick was the master of knowing the rules inside and out and using that to his advantage. And this is a time when Vrabel used it to his advantage, and it was against the mastermind, Coach Belichick. So
I learned
pretty incredible by him to do that.
I learned about that little mastermind bullshit is when we went to the Kentucky Derby one year, and he was my handicapper for the horses, and I made like 20 grand. Like, Vrabel loves like that kind of shit. We were sitting there, and I have no clue on how to gamble these horses, and Vrabes is over here, got his dip in. I think he had a cigarette, maybe a shot or two in him, and he's fucking
cigarette.
Yeah, he was smoking cigs with the dip in. I'm not joking. Cigs with the dip.
Think I love this guy now.
And we go to the little thing where you have to put your shit in, and I'm like, Vrabes, what I do? He's like, don't worry, Edelman, I got you. You know, he fucking puts them on there. We hit a 3-thing parlay or something. He's just a smart guy. He's a smart guy that like can beat you up.
What's the biggest thing in year one that he has to emphasize in New England? What do you think, Jules?
Well, you got to get some linemen. You got to get some linemen.
That's a good point right there.
They got a whole lot of money to spend. Now, knowing Mike through the years that I've known him, I'm sure he took this job knowing that he is going to be able to spend some money.
He's in a great situation heading into his first year. Obviously, he's got Drake May, who's an unbelievable quarterback. He's going to develop him to best of his potential, no doubt about that.
Who's he bringing in on OC?
I would say Josh McDaniels. I would love to see Josh McDaniels go there, but he has to go through the whole process. Maybe he has a guy or two out there that he's thinking about bringing in, but he's going through all that hiring process, interviewing.
I think that would be great.
But Josh McDaniels would be the best fit.
Because Josh ain't going anywhere.
He ain't.
And he loves it there.
I believe Josh is one of the best offensive coordinators in the league as well. I mean, he knows how to develop players. He helped develop
me,
Tom. He developed you, developed
Tom.
me, put me in the right situations all the time when I was in New England. Knows how to relate to guys as well, which is really good. I mean, you need that, with these young bucks these days.
I mean, he made Mac Jones a Pro Bowler
in his rookie year, then he left, and then ain't no Pro Bowler from there on out.
No, there hasn't been.
I'll contribute all that to most of that to McDaniels. McDee's. I like that name. I never heard that.
I don't know.
What about Vrabel? He took Ryan Tannehill out of Miami. Everyone thought he was going to be out of the league, and he basically made him into a Pro Bowler.
Yeah.
Basically got the #1 seed in the playoffs and almost made the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
A couple years with him too. So he knows how to develop quarterbacks. He knows how to get the best out of guys because he brings that type of energy, on the field, in the meeting rooms to get the best out of players. And that's why I hear about Vrabel, and that's why people love playing for him out of the guys that I know in Tennessee.